We're back to the LA taping, live in LA. I love LA, and so far I've had a cast of characters. Now I guess for our listening audience, it's Author's Corner, and it's Total Education Neil for TV. I've not even mentioned my website, totaltutor.net, or Twitter, Total Tutor, but I'm really excited to bring on my first author, and first and the only author today, Cecil Castellucci, author of Year of the Beast. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Neil.
Well, I'm excited for us to first tell your background, because it's not just as an author. You're a jack of all trades, aren't you?
Yeah, Renaissance gal. How's that?
So tell me about that.
Well, I started off my artistic career I was a musician. Musician, as in I was in an indie rock band, and so that's what brought me out to Los Angeles. It was a band called Nerdy Girl, because I wrote a song about Star Wars, because who doesn't write a song about Star Wars?
Right.
And then I came out here, but I knew that I'd always wanted to write for kids, so I did that. So I wrote for kids, but then I also have done like performance art pieces, and I wrote a libretto for an opera, and basically I just like to do creative projects.
It sounds like it's very interesting that Natalie was my assistant, but also she's an actress. You guys work together. That's really a coincidence.
Yeah, no, it was great. We met on Mike and Molly, because my friend Reno from high school is one of the stars on the show, and so I needed some grocery money, and he let me extra on it.
So you've done some acting as well?
I went to acting school in both New York. I went to the High School of Performing Arts, the famed school,
right.
And then I also studied at a conservatory in France.
I can tell you're definitely well trained. Most of the authors I have on are understanding the mic and understand the whole deal, and we can talk for hours. Well, I'm just interested in the book because of one reason. Just to tell you my background, I was a former professional wrestler. So when we talk about carnival coming to town, I think of wrestling and also carny talk.
Right.
Do you know what carny talk is?
Yeah, I
Where you
know how
put
to
the
do
is,
it,
you put it as. What is he's doing, Nizal? And my wife and I would always talk carny in front of the fans so they wouldn't know. And there were the gimmicks and you know what it is doing. And we would do that. Carny, it's hard, but they're really good at it. So why a carnival? Tell me.
Well, it just starts off at a carnival, and I thought, the book is a hybrid novel, so it's alternating chapters of prose and graphic novel, because I write comics as well.
Okay.
And so the prose novel is about a girl and her sister and the summer and the boys they like, and jealousy, and then the graphic novel part is about a girl who wakes up as a Medusa, and her friends turn into a centaur, a minotaur, and a mermaid, and she just wants to be a girl again. And the two stories don't seem as though they're connected at all, but by the end of the book, I suspect that you will find that they converge.
So you talk about specifically going to town in the carnival and party.
Yeah, and it's sort of this, because the story is a very tragic story. It's very, very sad, and I thought that the carnival, kind of like how In Something Wicked This Way Comes,
right.
Like the Ray Bradbury. So it's like it's sort of this crazy event that happens that comes in, sort of sweeps into town.
We did wrestling. We swept into
yeah.
town, then we left.
Yeah,
we would go to the different towns. We come in, like for example, in the Pittsburgh area, we work a town, come back next year.
Yeah.
So everything goes crazy. We all come in and leave.
Yeah, and so it was it's not throughout the whole book. It's really just at the beginning of the book where all of the events sort of get put into motion.
But it leads into the whole storyline.
Yeah,
right
exactly. And I think also that like the idea of a carnival and sort of fantastical things that are
fantasy
happening,
and
sort of
different
leads
things
into the Medusa kind of part, even though that's mythological. And then it ends.
Okay.
The book ends not with a carnival, but with a corn maze.
Are you a huge fan of the Clash and Titans?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, that is unbelievable.
Yep.
Wow, I'm a huge fan of it.
Best thing ever that I got when me and my brother we were obsessed with that movie, and I had for school the Notebook with Perseus holding Medusa's
yes,
head.
yes.
And that was my Dungeons and Dragons book where I would put all my character notes for my D&D campaigns that I did.
So there seems like there was a lot of research in this book, and also the graphic. Did you do the graphic part of it as well?
No, it was illustrated by a guy named Nate Powell, who is a fantastic, not only just illustrator, but he also writes his own books. He won the Eisner, which is a big comic book award, for his book Swallow Me Whole, which is one of my favorite graphic novels. So it was just, I couldn't believe it when he said yes to working with me. So that was great. And he's also drawn a book called Silence of My Friends, which was a New York Times bestseller, and he's just amazing. So I wrote the whole story, and then he drew it.
Quite interesting.
Yeah.
So, what is your ultimate goal with this book? Where do you want to see it go? What is from the promoting? Because you've written a few books before.
Oh yeah, this is my 10th, I think, book.
Right.
Where do I want it to go? I mean, I want it to go everywhere. I mean, the thing is when because it's a hybrid book, it's not very easy to read. So, I want it to sort of, I mean, it's not easy to read because some people aren't used to reading comic books, and some people aren't used to reading prose, like comic book people don't necessarily. So, and since it's such a half and half book,
exactly.
It's it's sort of like you have to put your thinking cap on when you read it. And but I'd like for people to sort of break down their reading barriers and and sort of go for it, even if it's hard.
So tell me about for our audience what a graphic novel is, because some don't understand what a graphic novel is.
Oh, okay. A graphic novel is a comic book, basically. It's just a comic book.
It's the hugest new trend.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy I interviewed a ton from the Miami Book Fair that were graphic novelists, and it's really becoming just a really big genre.
Yeah, I mean, so what basically, there's comic books. So you have your, monthly, Superman, Batman, whatever it is, and those are usually traditionally 22 pages, and then they're collected into a collection.
Right.
Or there are stories that are, 164 pages long, novel length, and those are called graphic novel. Really, they're just comic books. It's like, I mean, my book, I think you could technically call it a real graphic novel, and I don't mean real as in other graphic novels aren't real, but using the word properly, graphic novel. It's a novel that has graphic elements in it. So, but basically, graphic novels are just comic books. It's very simple.
And so, you said it's a hybrid, so not all of it's graphic novel.
Yeah, it's half words, half. So every alternating chapter
Has anyone ever done this before?
No, I think it's I mean, a lot of people have done novels that include graphic elements in them, but there hasn't really been a book where it's really two alternating stories that converge, where it's really alternating chapters
because
in that
you're
way.
Involved in Hollywood and other things, you see this as possibly could be a screenplay at one point in time with the kind of convergence or...
Well, yeah, I don't know how I would do it. I mean, like, I because I write so many different things, I sort of feel like if I had wanted to write it as a film, then I would have just written it as a film,
But you do write films too, right?
Yeah, I've written films too.
So don't you see this as something almost like, I think of Tears for Fears, one of the, which one was it? Or was it Depeche Mode that had the graphic?
No, it was Aha.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember, right?
Yeah. So don't you picture that where part of it is in reality and the other part of it is...
Yeah.
Was that Depeche Mode or was that Aha?
It was Aha, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
with
so.
The
with the drawing.
The drawing.
Yeah, it's on MTV.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I do, but I think the great thing about writing a book is that sometimes it's good for someone else to take it over and do it. But yeah, it would be awesome to be all animated or half and half or whatever.
For your fans, is this different than other stories where you did this hybrid?
Yeah, well, yes, it is different because most of my other novels are contemporary books about girls who love art, who sort of find their true tribe when they discover their art. And this was different for me because it's about sisters. I don't have a sister. It's about trauma and grief. Mm-hmm. I've had some trauma, but and I've had some grief. We all do. But this is a pretty sad book. But I like to keep things pretty lean and mean, and I think the comic book part helped to, in my writing, my prose is very, very, very lean. Like in my book, First Day on Earth, there are some chapters that only have one sentence.
Right. Oh my gosh.
So it's like really you're in, you're out. And also because I'd written graphic novels, The Plain Janes, which is my other graphic novel series, this book sort of married the two things that I like to write.
Did you get the opportunity to read this to people so far? Have you gotten to do like any going places and reading it to people?
Oh yeah, it came out last May, so so it's been out for a little while.
What's the response for it?
Oh great, yeah, it's totally critically acclaimed. It's it's a great response.
Well, you got to brag. Come on now, on this show you have to definitely brag about certain things, and that's the key component in this whole thing is looking at those things and going to the next level in so many ways. I think that when I hear about talking to authors, I think what helps you is you see the whole world in different ways. So you know how to market more because you're on both sides involved in Hollywood as well. So you kind of say, how for our audience out there, do you market your books? How do you make sure that you're out there getting the word out in specific ways and kind of branding yourself as this person? Because I see the creativity that you have from talking to you.
Well, I mean, I do all the social media, so I've got that, the Twitter and the Facebook, and then also I think it's really just about showing up. I'm here, doing like the, I do festivals all the time. I do comic book conventions. I do science fiction conventions. What's the next one you're going to be at so people meet you? Well, I'm doing the Yappiest Day on Earth next week, which is 16 YA authors going to Disneyland with a bunch of bloggers and librarians. Anybody can join us, 8 a.m., join us at the front gates.
That's so cool.
And then I'm doing WonderCon, and then I'm doing the Literary Orange Book Festival.
Oh, so I was forgetting about that. That's the big promotion. Yeah. April 6th, the Literary Orange. That's a shout out to Julia. So I said, definitely, I've been having those authors on. This is fantastic. Yeah. And then Comic-Con this summer. See, this is one thing that people are missing. I'm trying to bring this genre to people are just so into books and these festivals. Miami Book Fair is so unbelievable. I hope to be the LA. All these different places, they need a place to. They just are so into it. Yeah. Is it so cool to have fans that are so into it, they know everything and understand your passion and everything?
Yeah, it is. It's great. And you're right. Book festivals are you're like a rock star there. Exactly. It's amazing. Like the LA Times Festival of Books, which is coming up, the Literary Orange, or, it's just, I'd love to do the Miami Book Fair. When can we put that out in the universe?
Well, see, I know one of the top people out in Miami. Great. So I am become the Miami Book Fair person. So excellent. We'll make sure we get that out. We'll have to keep us going, and then, but if you direct a film, you got to have me in it, or you got to connect me in Pittsburgh, because I can start doing some movies. Because I want to go into the acting.
Actually, Jim Rugg, who drew the Plain Janes, he's a Pittsburgh guy. He lives in Pittsburgh, and there's a cartoon museum out there.
Especially speaking to the Pittsburgh audience and different things like this. So, kind of, just to tell you, like Miami Book Fair, it's crazy. These people, and I think that what's missing, and I think you want this to continue, is the physical book, not just the ebook. Yeah. Because when you go there and you get to sign a copy, when you get to talk to your fans, it's just unreal. But when you want that 24 hours, 24/7, 7 days a week type of thing, not just these events, so that you can keep it living on, because I think more and more people have to see how amazing you guys are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that definitely people, well, first of all, I write young adult fiction, and right now, young adult fantasy and science fiction is like the big thing. I mean, that's why we've got our Hunger Games and, Harry Potter and, all that. So it's really a great time to be a YA author, and I think that people are hungry for really great books, but I think that people forget to go to book festivals because they don't really, it just seems strange. But yeah, to go back to what you were saying, a physical book you can take in a bathtub. You can't take a Kindle or a Kobo. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
You're going to definitely come on for a phone or for different times.
Excellent.
But I just thought, I'm in LA, what an opportunity to interview Julia's authors and promote Literary Orange April 6th.
I'll be there.
She'll be there, and everyone will have to check it out. And then we'll be on YouTube, so this will be all over the place, all over the world, just the TV and the other. So quick, where we can find information on you, 2 places, right?
MissCecil.com is my website, and at Miss Cecil is my Twitter.
And then they can go to the website to purchase the book, or they can find it at other places, Amazon.
Bookstore, Amazon,
So great to be here.
Support your independent bookstores. Go to your local independent, too.
I like hearing that, and I've just become this... I love interviewing authors, and then thanks again for coming by.
Thank you very much.
So, first of all, saying goodbye to you on TV, and then also you're listening to Author's Corner, but watching Total Education Neil, and we'll be back in just a moment.